here today we'll be seeing only the basics of Java. So this 1 week session, what I have planned is to give you like a proper introduction to Java. Like you should not think, okay, Java is something magical or something like that. It is nothing. So by the end of this week, you will be able to understand a Java code. Like when you are presented a code, you will be able to understand. And one more, what are the basic elements in it and how it works and all. And one more thing is, whatever I'm teaching in this course, I request you not to buy heart anything from this course, but I request you everyone to understand the concept. That is what is going to help you in a long way. So either a student or a faculty or whoever it is, like by hearting a topic is easy. So today whatever I show you, it may look like some it may look like some how to say presentation to your question and answer section or something like that. But I request you, all the information that I'm going to provide you in this whole course and today is for your understanding. So each and every word you please understand. That is the only way you can explore more in Java. So I'm going to give you only the basics, and Java is like an ocean. You, in every stream if you go, you have Java. So we have waited enough of time. Let us go into a Java now. Okay. So I have seen a question like, we learn Java without knowing C++, ma'am? Yes, absolutely. You don't need to have any coding basics. See, for any programming language, it is not mandatory to know any other language as basics. If the what is the only additional point you will get is you will have a better understanding. If they explain a concept to you, you will understand it better. That is the only thing you will get from knowing one more like additional language. Okay. So Java, yes, you can learn Java without having any knowledge in C or C++. Okay. Now, okay, I welcome you all to Basics of Java. So since if we say Basics of Java, the first comes the history. I don't want to go for long way into this PPT. I'll give you a gist of it. Okay. So Java was initially started developing in early 90s, like 1991, by Sun Microsystem. Along with James Gosling, there was two more colleagues with them. They were a team and they have developed Java. So initially they called it as Green Talk. Okay, they doesn't name Java, given the name Java, like immediately they didn't give. So that group of project, they call it as Green Talk. Then later it has a very good response and they want to change the name as Oak. So why Oak? Oak is many countries' national tree, which symbolize the strength. So that is why they want to name it as Oak, and they have also named it like successfully. They named it as Oak, and they have gone like with that name Oak for a few months, a couple of months, I think. Then later they have known that one more company with the name Oak Technologies has already existed. So that is why the team again they have discussed and they come up with the name Java. So that is also a story, a myth kind of thing. Like Java is in. They have coined the name Java while James was sipping his coffee. You know, there is an island called Java Island. So it is famous for coffee. So he was literally having his coffee, and then he just named the application as sorry, the programming language is Java. So this is just a small interesting history or story about Java. But w- apart from the name, what it does, like why we need Java. So, like apart from the basic technology behind Java, as I have many listeners here for why you are learning Java, might be when I was a student. The only reason I learned Java is everyone told me like, okay, if you learn Java, you have plenty of opportunities and you will have so much, openings everywhere. You can be easily hired. That is what I have heard, and that is the first reason for me to choose learn Java. So that is not a wrong. The same exists even after 6 years. So till now Java is everywhere, you know the wherever you find, like whatever the technologies, even if you go for a hotel, the billing process, or if you take your mobile apps, so wherever, in whatever the place you find a technology, that absolutely you will have Java engaged. You cannot, it doesn't have any barrier. So the same. So this is the reason why I learned Java. Maybe it could be the same reason why many of the people here you are learning. So as a technologist, in my point of view, I will say why you should take Java. So Java is concurrent, Java is object oriented, Java is class based. Okay. Okay, I understand the words, but what does it mean? Yeah. So concurrent. Whenever, you're right, like what we do in colleges, we are not going to write any code with like few 10 lines, 20 lines, or maximum 200 lines. If you are building an application, you will have thousands of lines. Okay. So what happens? So Java will help you execute every set of your statement, every functionally, every functionality you can run it concurrent, like one by one. Okay, with one button click, or one way of compiling. Okay. So class based. So what is class based? So um, Java is being stand alone because of its concept of class based, which is typically supported with the object oriented way. So all these class based, object oriented, you just keep these words in your mind. We'll be talking about all these, each and every topic of this, like in detail, in our upcoming sessions. Okay. You just have the word concurrent, class based, or object oriented, just understand it. Okay. I'll be giving you example for each and everything that I have noted in my PPT. Oh, fine. So please, friends, also let me know if I'm being very fast. Okay. So I have teaching my, peers face to face. This is my first time going online. So if you have any issues, sorry, with the speed, please let me know. So the next will be Java is independent. What do you mean by independent? Like if you are planning to develop a Java program, okay, it comes as a bundle. Okay, once you plan to develop it, if you're downloading Java and you're about to code, then you don't require anything else, literally nothing. You can write your code, your compiler, your platform to run, everything is everything comes along with the Java package. Okay. So at the same time, one more thing. Okay, I'm writing an application that needs to run in my Windows system. Okay, so do I need to write some different type of code or any structural way to be used it in other, how to say, in other Mac system or any mainframe system or in Linux? No, absolutely not. Okay, you can directly use the same set of code that you have used for your Windows system and deployed in any other system. Okay, this is really a bliss, like we are learning it directly, like we are learning Java without learning anything else. We have not practiced with any other difficult languages which were exist before. So to us, to learn all these concurrency, class based or object oriented, or it is independent, you will say, okay, that's all. But it is not. It is not the simple thing. You know, there were times like you have to develop different code for different machines. You know, doing the same work. You know how difficult it is, right? Yeah. So just, I don't want you to buy heard all this. Just these are the features of Java. You know, these are some reasons why we are moving to Java. Just understand that. Okay. So next. So as technology wise, yes, I learned Java. Since it is concurrent, class based, it is like, you know, it reduces work, blah blah, and everything, whatever the technical people say. Then what is the use for me? What Java creates me? You know, we should have some selfish, you know, some note to learn Java, right? So as I said, in every industry there is a scope for Java. So you can go for every place. So yes, you have many other languages has came in, but Java still is sustaining its own, you know, uh, has created its market in many places. Java is irreplaceable, you know. So every in banking industry, so in banking industry, what Java does, you know, the payment page that you pay, the login page, the you know, the banking pages you create. Yes, front fancy pages may be created with Angular or whatever the front end technologies, but behind, so behind the screen where your money transactions, how your you know, your account statements, how your maybe interest calculation, whatever it is. Okay. So whatever is happening behind the screen, it is done by Java. So and also you get the values accurate. So if and language is not that accurate, you know, if it is not giving you that much of ROI, return on investment, how do you think these many, you know, industries are taking Java as their a tool? So if you learn Java, it is not that you should go only by IT industry. IT is, yes, IT is a major part. Okay. You can also go for banking. In every bank, they have their separate IT department. You can go for banking. You can go for, if you are even a research student, yes, you can learn Java. You can make your own research paper, or like, you know, you play with numbers. It is not always a theoretical. Then big data. Sure, big data is a booming technology now, but that itself need Java for a support. So you don't, it's like, uh you don't need to think like I have to, if I'm a Java developer, since big data is a booming technology, am I wasting my time in learning Java? No. Being Java developer, yes, you can go inside big data market. So simply I would tell you like, Java creates a lot of opportunities to you. Just don't learn it as some subject or that motive. Learn it to explore more. You know, like when you do a program, when you just write something, is, you know, you print a hello world by yourself, you know, you feel kind of achievement. I want that spark to be within all of my listeners today. Okay. So again, you can see this image, right? So this is technically how in IT industry, these are some terms used. Okay. So Java, we use it in web development. So the maybe for those who don't know, like maybe someone has known what is Angular, Node, everything. Just I'll give you a gist. So Java has placed it foot in web development. You mean for whatever the application that you use, web application. You can, what does mean by web application? Yeah, like you are accessing any application through internet, whatever the application, like you are hitting some URL and you are accessing it, then it's called web application. Very simple. So, and the frameworks, what is the framework? The Spring, you know so Spring is some framework that uses, Java has like MVC framework, and they have singleton, they have some patterns. Okay, so these are some frameworks. Then big data, as I have told you, Android for the mobile development and for continuous testing. So you are right, you'll be writing Selenium, right? You might have heard, like, testing is no more manual kind of testing. In IT industry now, they want testing also to be coded. You should write some code to test your code. That is what they call it as automation testing. So for that also Java is needed. To test your Java code, obviously you will be writing a counter code to test it. So it is like, you will have, I just want to make you understand, you have plenty. I have mentioned you only very few here. Okay, you that is so much. You can't just count in fingers. Okay, so next, so now we will go inside really some features of Java. Okay, so yes, Java is very simple compared to C++, because if anyone has learned C++, you might have heard these pointers, operator overloading, or some more concepts, to maintain link, to maintain where the data is stored, or some, some difficult process to manage things. So all those things has been eased by Java. So human has developed C++ language to overcome the difficulty he had before that. So again, Java has, again, it is a progress. We still face some difficulties with C++. So why not Java? Okay. Next, portable. As I have told you earlier, it is platform independent. So whenever you are um, like building a code for Windows application, sorry, when Windows platform or a Linux platform, you can deploy the same set of code anywhere. Okay, so the next is object oriented. So here, uh, the meaning of object in Java is same as how it is in the real world. Okay, it is nothing new. Let us take an example of, okay, I'll take one example, a pen drive, a flash drive. Okay, that is an object in the real world, and it has a state, you know and it has a behavior. What does that mean? If I plug into any system, I can obviously like store some data in it. So it has some value stored, and I can perform operation over that data stored in my a flash drive. And of course, those objects I can transfer, like I can share it with my family, or I can share it with my friends. It has a state. So with an object, you can say like it is created, then it is destroyed, then you can, this object will behave only in this certain way, and with the values that those object contains, you can perform the operations whatever you need. Okay. So so next is secured. Okay, this is more important point, right? Whatever you do, it needs to be secured. Your hard earned money, your hard earned code, your data, right? So Java gives you the whole control over the safety. Okay, so what happens when you type a Java code with that Java extension? You, the next step is you compile it. When you compile it, your Java code is transferred to a class code, that is a bytecode. Okay, dot class file. I'll show you all those things later. Just have the words bytecode in mind. Okay, bytecode is different, machine code, the binary is different. Okay, please understand that as well. So a Java code is transferred into a bytecode during compilation. This bytecode human cannot understand. Yes, and the Java while running, right, it does not create any pointer like it has to go, I mean, this function matches to the other function, or this method goes to this database or whatever the class. It is not very open, or it is not available in the bytecode. Understand, we will say all these things in our Java, but one, I mean, like Java program, but once it is compiled, all these relations, all these, very open details are not available in the bytecode. So obviously it makes our system secure. Okay, so these are this four, this is uh, please, I have seen a message that I'm not audible. uh, is Please, anyone, one of you could reply me whether I'm audible. Okay, thank you. So I will continue. Maybe it is some issue from in Kamal side. Okay, fine. So all these simple, portable, object oriented, secured, and I have given few lines of description, right? This is what I said. I having given these description for you to by heart. Okay, just have this for your understanding. Understand Java better. Okay, that, because none, I was not taught this way. What I did was by heart. But but at the end of the day, while I want to really code, this by heart, these things does not help me. What these this simple portable, the everything I made dabba and I have given in my exams is waste. But you have to understand it. You just have the concept in your mind, that is enough. Okay, so next, what one more cool feature is dynamic. Java is dynamic, yeah. So what do you mean by dynamic? So dynamic memory allocation, so wastage of memory. You will hear all these several terms when you enter into industry. You know, so what first, like dynamic memory means? Uh, Let us say you have you know um, how to give you an example, like you might have seen many Facebook videos, like a chair will be designed like one, a single seater chair. If a friends come, they will, they can make it as two, they can make it as three, right? So depending on depending on how many people that you get, you make space for them. So even then, with the chair example, yes, obviously it will be like more of six people they can accommodate, but it isn't. That is not the limit in Java. You know, when how many people is getting added, you can, like how many objects are getting added, you can add it. But at the same time, if you are going to have only 10 people, the memory will be sorry. I'm again going for people. If you are going to have only 10 objects to be to be added, only the memory for the 10 object will be taken. you know for the, what is the use of that 90 space for the 90 objects to hold it empty? You can use for something else, right? So the space is always available if if any new object comes, but that is not vastly utilized. It is not like, you take place for your friend, right? Whether he comes or not, whether she is present or not, that place is not, it is not like that. It is not always like, given to someone. And that, I think you guys got this topic, sorry, got this concept. So dynamic memory allocation. So once you come in, whatever the data you send in, it can get the memory. Also, you can make a static memory in Java. Okay, that is not issue with Java. That is the issue with the programmer. Okay, where if I am writing a code, I should not write in that way. That is wrong. Okay, so whatever developer, a programmer need, Java will provide. So these dynamic memory allocation is available in Java, but to use, how to use it is in the hand of the programmer. You know, the technology will give you good and bad. It depends on how you use it, simply. So next is distributed. So what is distributed? So you might have heard this word, right, in many networks and all. So the same concept. So let me say I have one application. I have a booking app. Let me say I'm the owner of some ticket booking for a bus. Okay, that is a separate application that I am hosting. And once I select the seats and all, I have to move to the payment page, right? So those payment, you have some calculation, some set of codings running for the payment. You don't need to have all those that payment functions inside your application. That itself can stand alone as a different application, whereas from your ticket booking application, you can call it, you might be like, uh, there might be how to say, there may be a cost involved. Okay, since it is someone else application, might be an cost involved to call that payment application. But that doesn't mean you need to replicate the same. you know you will not buy same kind of cloth in, you will not have the same kind of cloth in your not kind of the same exactly ditto cloth in your all your shelves in your wardrobe, right? So if you have in your second wardrobe, you just go walk, take and wear, right? So this is what the uh, distributed feature of Java means. So next, a robust. Yes. uh, why is Java called robust? Like Java is robust, the same dictionary meaning is strong, right? Not only in memory management way, Java is strong in many other ways. Uh, you have like it is not penetrated in the sense, it is not like it is not easy to hack or something. Like you have security, right? So in many ways, Java is strong. So here, why I'm specifically maintaining strong memory management is what I'm mentioning here is, this is the basic. And how to say, it is a simple thing to manage, but once if it is not managed properly, it is a huge problem that will uh, create to any of the application that you are going to develop. you know uh, so if you see in many industry, like wherever you go to a project, you hear like whether memory is managed properly, whether garbage collection is done, this or that. Why? Because if that those things are not done properly, you know then your application performance will be lost. What do you mean by performance? If you are developing an application, it is not going to be used by you and me, right? uh, there is no use for two people. Yes, of course it is used, but it has to be, because the cost involved, right? You will be giving to many people. So in that case, so if the memory in Java is not managed properly, in some cases Java itself will manage its memory. In many cases, Java will not let us do all work. Okay. Even if it is small code, like I said, if it is only 10 or 20 lines of or 20 classes involved, Java itself handles the memory properly, pakka. Okay. But sometimes, like, you have simultaneously 20,000 users, 30,000 users. What happen if you don't handle the memory properly? Java is also, at the end of the day, it is a program, right? It get confused. If all the space allocated to it is used, what will happen? you know though it has a strong memory management, as a programmer, as a developer, okay, we have the higher responsibility to use every feature that is available in Java. Okay, I'm just giving you every, the problems that I have faced in like 5 to 6 years of my journey in IT, so that you will not be surprised. Like, after this course, if you find somewhere like garbage collection a word, you know what it is. So that's why I'm just adding bits and pieces of my experience. If you find that as deviating, please let me know. Okay, because I don't want to waste your time as well. So okay, so eliminating code. Okay, Java has will be throwing both compile time and runtime errors. Okay, so what does it mean? mm, okay, when once you write a Java code, and if you try to compile in the sense, like, it will convert all the code that you write in Java into the byte code. Okay, so this, during conversion of this byte code, it will check if you have any errors. So basic errors will be corrected. Java is an type sensitive program. So if you have any those kind of if you have used s in caps instead of the place, you must use a lowercase of s, or if you have missed any single quotes or something like that. So those things will, yeah, Java will tell you, see, please go to this line, you have this issue in this place. Okay, it will throw to your face like, this is error, go change, only then it will run. There will be some cases, you cannot capture it during the compile time, so it will be waiting for an input. Like, how to say, okay, you have some two people's database, like, one, okay, let me take my name, Divya, and like experience is 5 years, and one more person, like, Karunya, and they have the experience of 3 years. So this is stored in an array. Okay, so this array is passed to print, okay, whatever the name it is. And what I'm doing is, so in array, how it is stored, the index will be 0 and 1. Even if it is like two data stored, the index will be 0 and 1. Okay, so when I'm trying to take the third object, okay, what will happen? Obviously there is an error, right? There is no third object is available in the array. So Java will throw an error or an exception during your runtime of the project. So it is so strong that it will not let you commit any error, during the development phase itself. So mostly the code that you are developing, you are delivering your customers, will be very strong. These silly mistakes and all those things will be rectified. You don't want anyone else to say, Java itself will tell you all these things. So next is high performance. Yes, so why it is called as high performance? So Java converts the Java program into bytecode, and this bytecode is not, it is not run directly in your system. So during the runtime, so JIT, you might have heard, just in time. Okay, So, so whenever you want to run a program, it immediately converts your bytecode into the machine code, and the program runs is within like milliseconds or nanoseconds. I don't know, like it's less than a second. You know, even people fine tune those code to make Java more powerful. Okay. So next, interpreted. So what do you mean by interpretation? Okay, it is nothing but I have told you, right? Java is compiled to bytecode, and this bytecode is changed into your a machine code. Okay, so this interpretation, this bytecode to machine code interpretation is like this will be run during the runtime in your system, in your environment, in your platform, or however you call it. Okay, so next is multi-thread. So this is much a little complex topic for basic, but just I'll tell you, uh, multi-threading is nothing but Java does not do a single work. You know, we'll do right. I'll eat, I'll teach, I'll listen music. So that way, Java can also do things, like multiple things at the same time. So you will be like dividing your memory, your place to run your code and everything, you separate it. Okay. So this is much, this itself is a separate topic you can learn. So you just have Java can perform, multitasking. That will be the easier understanding. You don't think like, okay, I'm running this a piece of code, so I have to wait till this completes. No, Java can do much more. It can do multitasking. Okay. So these are the 10 features of Java. Uh, and again, the same, please go through and understand it. And whenever you have a doubt, please do post it in comment. If I cannot explain them in during this session, maybe I'll read it later and I'll respond to you. Okay. So please feel free to enter your comments. So if I read comments now, it will be very disturbing for me. That is why like I'm just going through the topics, because we have hardly 15-20 more minutes. So okay, components of Java. So I hope some of you might have heard this term, JDK, JRE, JVM. So what does this mean? So if you are developing a programming language, you need some component to develop it, right? It will not come boom somewhere popping out. So what is JVM? It is a virtual machine in an that enables your computer to run a Java program. Okay, cool, right? So this is why this feature, this JVM feature, makes your Java platform independent. Okay, I have told you, right? Like if you are writing your program for Windows, you don't have to rewrite it for your Linux. So what happens? So okay, what happens I'll tell you next, but this feature makes that possible. Okay, so this is what I have explained you. You write a Java program, your Java, while you compile, Java program is converted into your Java bytecode, and while you try to run it, your JVM, this Java virtual machine, this will convert your bytecode into your machine code. That is nothing but your binary machine language. So this machine language is understood by your CPU, and it will give you the output that you need. Okay. So this is what I have explained. Like, okay, what is bytecode? Like when you write a Java program, the files will be like saved as with the extension of .java, and when you compile, right, the same set of files will be the same set, same set, same directory structure will form, and you will have same the with a binary codes of dot class. So next comes JRE, Java Runtime Environment. So sorry, excuse me. Yeah, okay. Java runtime environment. So this is entirely a software package, I would say, but this is entirely like how the name suggests, a runtime environment. So if you have a Java code with you, like maybe it is written by your friend or you yours, oh no, not you yourself. You get it downloaded from any internet sources or something. You can, if you have JRE in your machine, you can run it. You know, you just run. You can't modify it or anything. It is just if you have JRE, like for example, you are developing some application and you want to deploy it in your customer's machine, okay, customer's laptop or wherever. They, if they have JRE, fine then, okay, they just require JRE. So what does this JRE contains? So this JRE itself, it contains the JVM, the one we saw earlier, Java Virtual Machine, plus some Java libraries. Okay, so what happens if you are getting some Java code that needs to be executed? So those Java code will have some libraries imported to it. Java libraries, they give some for the mathematical function, for the string functions, so many. Okay, we will see all those things later. So you will have some, if people is, if any of you know, like known C, C++ or something, like you will have that Conio, you will have some stdio.h, some, you will have some libraries to import. So the same way Java also has libraries to import. So all these libraries and plus the Java virtual machine, the platform to run the Java code, is available inside JRE. So JVM is a subset of JRE. Okay. So as I said, if you need to run a Java program, but not to develop them, JRE is what you need. Okay. So next comes the JDK. Okay. So as a Java developer, we need the platform to develop. JRE is not alone, is not enough for us, right? So we will have this JDK, Java Development Kit. So in Java Development Kit, we have JRE. So JRE is the subset of JDK. So since we have JRE here, we know that JRE is the subset of JVM. So when you download JDK, you have all these JVM and JRE come along with this JDK. Okay, so this will have this compiler, debuggers, Java documentation. So many extension you will have. Okay, so when you are a developer, you need JDK, Java Development Kit, to build your own software. Okay, so this is just an one diagram to give you the relationship. So JDK is the outer box. So then you have an JRE. So inside JRE you have a separate box for the JVM and class library, and plus inside JDK you have one more thing for compilers, debuggers, and Java document. Okay, this is just a hierarchy. You don't need to go through all those text. So next, people, I'll please, if possible, like by hearing, try to check in your system. Please go to your command prompt. Please let me know if you want me to do it. I will do. If you know how to go to your command prompt, that is fine. Okay, please reply me fast. Let us utilize this time. Okay, better I'll share my screen. Okay, so go to your Windows search, right? In the search box, please type CMD. It will automatically opens your command prompt. Okay, this black screen. Okay, here let us first check if Java is available in your system. So let us type Java hyphen version here. So if you have Java already installed, you can see this. You can see this version, JDK version 11.0.8. You can see in my system, right? This will be displayed. But if in case it is not available, please follow the steps that I'm going to explain you next. Okay, this means that your system does not have Java. Mostly you will have you usually will have Java installed because your systems have many applications that needs Java support. Okay, if in case the version is below 8, 7 point something or 6 point something, mostly it will not be the case because many of you will have the updated systems. If you have lower versions also, I request you to follow the steps that I'm going to tell you, the next slide, how to download. Okay, so I request you to go to this link, http oracle.com. You can see in my screen, right? It's just if you type uh, download Java JDK for Windows, you will have it in your Google. Okay, so once you go to this page, you will have this JDK download. You will have the link over here. Fine. So so you will download, and mostly you'll be getting an exe file. Okay, so when you go here, you can like see what file you want, like Win 64 or whatever. You can click. You will have this exe downloaded. I have actually since I have already have JDK in my system, I'm just showing you. So see, I'm using 11, but we have got 14 already. Okay, if it is 8 plus, that is okay, fine. It is good to go. 1.8, yes, okay. Someone has asked, you know. So once you download this exe, please double click on it. Once you double click, it start to install like any other application. It will start to like it will ask some license. You give okay to it, and it will show some path for you. Usually the path will be on your C drive. Okay, usually it will be on your C drive normally. If it is not, it will ask while it prompts you, you can change your directory, or if you don't want to change, just take a look, because we need this path to set your Java home path later. So just have a look into that. Instead of just clicking next, 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 just have a look into which path it is installed. Okay, so and if you give finish, it automatically the JDK installation will be done. Okay, so once it is done, we can do the same like what we did in command prompt, right? Okay, if you're seeing through mobile, not an issue. Like you can practice it when you're in your PC. Okay. So once Java is, installed, if that small pop-up gets closed, you can check it. You can open your command prompt and you can type the command I have mentioned, Java space hyphen version, and you will get the how to say, you will get the version installed to it. And one more thing, this command I'm telling you is for Windows users only. If in case any Linux or Mac users, please ping me later. Maybe I'll try to share you the comments and everything that you need. Okay, there will not be it will not be very different code. Okay, since maximum will be Windows user, I have just shown you the Windows comment. So next, let us set the path. You know, maybe this for many people will be, new. I'll help you through. So please open your control panel. You know, so I'll help you. Like, so while you open this system properties, you will find this environment variables over here in the bottom. You mean like about to this OK and cancel button. Please click on to that. Okay, so here in the below down system variables, right? In system variables, please check if you have this path already available, this parameter, if it is already available. If it is available, I request you to click edit. Okay, please don't delete any of these things. Okay, please don't delete. It may, like, you might have many configuration already done, you might be losing it. So, okay, here click add new. Okay, you will have a add new over here. So in this place, what you need to do, okay, I have already added. So what you need to do is click new, and please go to the folder where your, you have installed your Java, right? So go to this place, take your bin, till bin, okay? Copy this path and please paste it in. If you create a new, you have one small like text box over here, right? You place it over there, then click OK, OK, and close the, the system variable. Okay, so I hope you have done. So to check this, you can open the command prompt. After typing Java hyphen version, in the next line, you can type echo, the percentage, between the percentage symbol, you can type path. Okay, this will give you the path set or not. It will print, I'll try doing this here. So you have this long lines, right? So you can check whether your Java bin is added here or not. It might be added somewhere. It is already available here actually, but you can check in yours. Okay. So this is how you will be checking the path variable. So this is done for your environment setup in your system. Okay. So Next step is, I will help you. I'll be taking you through like installing Eclipse in your system. Uh, you know, maybe in your college, maybe you might be asked to write your codes in your text editor. Okay, that is one part. But throughout my course, I'll be taking you to, uh, writing codes with Eclipse. That is what you are going to do in the industry. You are not going to type in your text, notepad or something. You are not going to compile and run. I'll just show you today how you have to do it in your notepad. Okay, typing in notepad is a good practice, but today's technology, everything is available, like whatever the code you are going to type, like if you're going to print the statement, or if you're going to compare to string, everything is available in shortcuts in Java. You don't need to by heart it. Okay, you just need to know that these are the things available in Java and how to implement it in a better way. So that is why I'll be helping you to install Eclipse, and we'll be learning how to code with Java. Okay, a code with Java in the sense like understanding every elements in Java. Okay, so please, I have shared you a link, right? Uh, so please go to this link. So once you click download a 64-bit, you will have your, this exe downloaded. So once you click on the exe, it will automatically how to say, it will get installed in your system. Okay, you don't have anything to do new here in Eclipse. You just download it, just click the exe, it gets installed. Simple. Okay, so once it is installed, at the last step it will ask you whether let me launch. Okay, so you can launch it. So once after launch, okay, I'll show you that. So after launch, how it will look, I'll show you. Okay, because since I have already installed it, so it will show you a small pop-up like this to set your workspace in the sense where you want to create your, if you're going to create a project, you need a location to store your project, right? So it will show some location. So if you want to change, you can change. You don't need to be a D drive. It is not compulsory. Like this has to be here only. It is not like that. Wherever you're comfortable, you can change the location and you can do. Okay. So I'll launch. Okay. So maybe the first time users, you will have one like banner, like kind of thing provided by Java. Like if you are a PHP developer, or if you are a big data developer, it will give you like n number of choices. In that, at the top, you will have like Java for for Eclipse for Java developers. Okay, you can click that, and you will have one page opened. Okay, so in that, so just think like you'll have some empty page. Okay, now I have my Hello World application over here. You will not have it in your if you are creating your Eclipse new. So next, I'll help you to your small basic uh, Hello World application. So what we will be doing next. So I'll try to share this PPT later with you people. So what are all the steps that I have mentioned here? I will be showing you in my Eclipse. Okay, that will be better for you to read, or to just read. It is better to see visually. So Here is my Eclipse. So what you have to do is, even if it is simply a hello world program, you should create an application. Okay, let me close it. I'll just create one more application for your sake. So here, create Java project. Okay, so here you can give any, I'll give day 1. Okay, next. I don't want to create any module. Okay, so I'll just uncheck this. Finish. So my project is created over here. Okay, you can see this source, right? So whatever the code that you are going to do, this will go inside this source folder. And you can see this JRE a JRE folder created as soon as you have create your application. So you can see, as I have told you, you have so many n number of that your compiler, your library files, and everything, like many, it will get listed. All these things like HTTP, naming conversion management, logging. So all these entities will help you while coding. I'll tell you how it is. Okay. So what to do next is you create a class file on your project. Right click, new. You will have a list in that, create class. Okay. See, uh, this is a location. Okay, so this new class file is going to created inside this day 1 and source. After source and inside source, you will have this you know uh, you'll have this class. Okay, I'll just type my class. Okay, so I'll give finish. So here I have an class with my public static void main. Okay, so I'll teach you all this, public stack, what does this means and everything. So any program, if you are executing, you need a start point, right? So this is where the program starts. You just need that kind of, like a initiation. So every time this main function will get execute. So just for today, I'll stop you here with the just, you'll create a class. Okay, so inside class you need this main function. Okay, are you able to follow me? Okay, so sorry. Okay, so here we have no block, given here. So I will just print an hello world over here. So system.out.println. Okay, this is the code that is going to print whatever you give inside, like maybe hi friends or hello world, whatever, you just save it. So your mini hi friends program is ready now. You can type anything here. So to run this anywhere inside this file, right click, you can find this run as, then Java application, you can click and you can see your output here. Hi friends. Okay. So what happens while you run your code? This Dart Java class, right? This has created one more uh, dot class file. Okay, that dot class file got executed and we get this result. Okay, so this is how we work with Eclipse. So I'll just fastly take you like how you will be executing if in case you are writing it in your uh, with your IDE or something, like, okay, I have it in my desktop. So from here, I'll open my command prompt, okay, to compile the Java application. Okay, I'll show you, this is my, mhm. I will delete this my class file. Okay, I will open this my class.java file in my notepad. Okay, you can see here, right? My class.java. So to compile this application, you need Java C space your class name dot Java. So if in case you had some errors, it will tell you like I'll remove one double quotes over here and I'll try to run the same command. See, you can see an error like unclosed string literal. It's showing the pointer over here. So this double quote is missing. So I'll just add and I'll run again. So the next line pops up automatically without any error, means your program has no errors. I mean, no compile time errors. Okay, so we'll be seeing very detailedly what is compile time runtime error. So for now, I'll tell you that Java has compiled my java.class and my class file, my Java program doesn't have any error. So now we have the bytecode generated and we have to run it, right? To run it, Java space my class. So what it is printed, you can see the output, right? Hello world, what I have given in this snippet. So you are getting your output immediately here. So what is the problem? Like there is no problem, but you have this compilation and execution step manually over here. But these things in Eclipse, if you run as Java application, all these things is done by Eclipse itself. Okay. This is what the literal difference between like typing in your Java text file. And one more thing is like I have removed my double quotes, but my text editor will not tell me any error. Okay, let us say here, I take my double quotes, my editor will tell me I have missed some code over here. So it is easy for me to fix. I don't even need to compile to know this very minimal error. So these are some benefits. It is very user friendly. See, Java is making our life easier, and Eclipse is making it even more easier to work with Java. Okay. So I have given all these, these steps only. Try the same in text editor and what you have to do. And yeah, note. Sorry, people, I should have told you the same. The class name and the file name should be same. So as you see, when we do in Eclipse, so whatever the class name you have given to create with the same class name inside public class, the file is created. Okay, the same you have to do. So that is how Java will know, okay, this is the class. It will compare, you know. And one more thing is Java is case sensitive. If this yes has to be in caps, it has to be in caps. If you give in small, lower case, it will show an error. Okay, then every statement should end with a semicolon. So these are some, you know, very basic, uh, very basic things in Java. Okay, so this is what I have prepared for today, to give you an overall introduction about Java, why, how to install, and to run your, you know, your own small snippet. No, I will not call it as a program, your small snippet, you know. So I hope, sorry, I have taken your 15 minutes extra. Sorry for that. But like, I hope you have understand. No, I will try to give you all these links where to download, and if possible, I'll check and I'll share you the PPT if needed, or else I'll just give you the links to download at least. Okay. So if you have any doubts, so whatever the doubt, even you don't need to think it is very small. Okay, whatever the whatever the doubts you have, please share it in comments. I'll try to read it, and I will try to address you, you know, either maybe tomorrow we can connect 2 3 minutes or 5 minutes earlier, we can discuss, or else I can, you know, ping you in chat again, comment you in chat, or whatever. I'll try to address it. Okay, please don't have any doubts in your mind and proceed, because you know, it may hinder you. Okay, so thank you, people. So I have some questions. Okay, I'll read it, and you know, if it's about me personally, please, I will answer it later. If any questions about the session, please feel free to ask. And whoever has no time to try, please go through and try to install JDK, or try to check, you know, if it is installed properly. Only then we can have our next class very interactive. Interactive in the sense, like every oops concept, or whatever the concept that we get next, you know, we'll try to work out a few snippet of code, like how we are doing today, the hello world. I'll be giving you like 3 4 lines of code. Okay, and we will understand it better, you know. You code more, you understand more. You just see once, you'll forget. Okay, so that's it for today.